Hey, my friend, welcome to a new episode of Composing Corner, a video series where I share tips and strategies that I've used as a composer that you can reinvest into your own music. Today, I want to talk about seamless transitions between songs. I think that in this era of singles and streaming and AI-generated music, we need more than ever songs that are part of a bigger whole, like in the good old days with full-length albums and conceptual albums where the order of the songs really mattered, how they flowed together. And I think the best way to do that is to create songs that are seamless. The transition is seamless between one song to the next so that they really sound like they belong together and in that certain order. I have explored this concept many times in my music. For example, my album Under the Crystal Tree is 2 sets of 5 songs that seamlessly transition into one another. Same with the next album, Score Datura, 3 sets of seamless songs. And I've done one-offs in many of my albums as well, where 2 songs just go right into the next ones. But the problem is that it doesn't always work to just go from one song to the next. Depending on the key and the mood and the instrumentation, it doesn't always work to just go from one to the next. We've all heard playlists or even on the radio where they tried to crossfade some songs and the keys were different and it just sounded weird and made you feel uneasy for the few seconds that the song crossfaded together. So this is not kind of the right way to do it. It sounds like this. There are many more tasteful ways to approach doing that. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 strategies that you can use to make seamless transitions between songs. Number 1 is simply to make the 2 songs you want to transition in the same key, right? Being in the same key, nothing is going to sound out of place and it's going to go super well from one to the next. Here's a few examples. Right? So in the last one we've heard, both are in the key of A minor, right? And it just works because of this. And I think that it works better if the songs are different in nature, right? This was a duet for piano and cello, and it goes into an electric guitar song that is more like post-rock oriented, right? If the songs sound too similar one after another, it might not have a great effect, right? You don't want to get some of that kind of the feeling of sameness in your album from one song to the next. But if you have a ballad that goes in an up-tempo song or just different instrumentation or something like this, it can work really well. Number 2, use the 5 chord of the next song. So if your songs are not in the same key, you can use the dominant chord of the next key to kind of lead into it. So in any key, you have the root chord, right? Let's say we are in C major. That's the home chord where you can resolve. And then you have the dominant chord, which is the 5 chord. It's built on the 5th note of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the dominant chord, the 5 chord, wants to attract and resolve on the root chord, right? So what you can do is to target the 5 chord of the next key, that is the next song, and that's going to lead perfectly into it. Here are a few examples. So in the last example, we are in the key of A major. It's kind of A mixolydian with the G to A major. And we kind of drone on the root chord of A major with that little motif right here. Right? So we are clearly established in the key of A major, but then I play. So what is this? It's an arpeggio of an F sharp major chord, which is kind of outside of my key, but it's the 5th chord to the next key of B minor, so that we can go to. Right? So it serves that purpose. Dun, 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 dun. Right? So it works really, really well, and I do that a lot to choose the 5 chord of the next key to lead into the song. Strategy number 3, reset your ears by using neutral sounds, right? It can be sound effects or white noise or something like this. Right, so that was kind of my concept album about a crystal tree. So I had like weird sounds that were high pitched and high frequencies and such, with a lot of white noise in the background. So when you do that, you can transition from any song you want if it makes sense within the narrative of your songs and of your album. You can just come from super distant keys if you want by doing that. Strategy number 4, write an interlude that serves as a bridge between songs, right? So instead of just modifying one chord to be the 5th chord to the next, you just write a full part that is the end of the previous song and the beginning of the next song. Under the crystal tree. Right, so what you've just heard is a part that was not written before. I just knew that I wanted both songs to flow through each other, and it quite didn't work, so I wrote an extra part that I added at the end of the song so that we can go to the next, right? It's a great strategy, especially if your keys are really distant from one another and it doesn't quite feel right to just jump to a jarring 5 chord of the next key, right? So if you want to learn more about this, I'm going to put in the upper card my lesson that I posted a few weeks back on how to make smooth key changes in your chord progressions. That can help a lot to create a smooth interlude as well between your songs. Before we go to the next strategy, go check out my free PDF guide, 52 song prompts for your guitar songs. So if you want to write music on guitar, but you're kind of stuck and you don't find great song ideas, I'm going to give you many prompts to get you out of your comfort zone and start writing and start creating music on some really tangible stuff. There are 52 of them, so you could use one a week for an entire year if you want. So if you want to check that out, it's the first link in the description box below, my 52 song prompts guide. Strategy number 5 is to use a deceptive cadence. I'm going to let you hear how that sounds, and then I'm going to explain the theory behind it. So a deceptive cadence is when you use the 5th chord of your key, but you resolve elsewhere than the root chord. So like I explained, the 5th chord wants to resolve to the root chord, ta, pa, 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 right? And you, most of the times when you hear a 5th chord, you expect it to resolve here, but instead a deceptive cadence is gonna deceive you. We're gonna resolve on another chord than you expected. Many times it's the 6th chord or the 4th chord instead of the root chord, but it can even be any chord that you want. So in the last one that we heard, we were in the key of B minor. I was using a baritone guitar, so I was using the low B, right? Da, 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 da. Right, so now I play the F sharp, so you expect the da da, but instead it's da 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 da, to go in the key of E minor, which is the next song, because E minor is the 4th chord in the key of B minor. So it's still a chord that works, but it just helps you lead into the next key. The other song that we've heard, the piano song, The Graceful Seahorse, ends on the E sus4 that goes to an E, even an E dominant 7. And you expect it to resolve to the initial key of A major, but instead it's... So in this case, I use the 5th chord and a deceptive cadence to the flat 6th chord, and then I take my time to establish the mood of the next key of F, right? So that works even if you use modal mixture or modal interchange to use chords outside the key, as long as you deceive. It's a deceptive cadence to go on a chord that you didn't expect, which becomes the key of the next song. So I hope that you found these strategies really, really practical. So now you can go on either of these videos next. If you want to learn how to make smooth key changes in your chord progressions, choose this one. Or if you want to learn more about the deceptive cadence, click on this one for more information as well. It's kind of a choose your own adventure. So I'm going to see you on that next video, whichever you choose. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time, au revoir.